Oof. I
Big
think that
question, I
that's a
know.
very, it is a, it's a big and deep question that's very individual. I think if I, uh, there's a lot about understanding yourself, and that's, that seems obvious, but I think a lot of people think of that as a personal thing that's not related to work. But I think understanding what drives you, particularly in design is quite personal. You're always told to kind of detach yourself from the design. It's not your baby. It's not art. And that's all of that is true. You're solving other people's problems. Design is not about you expressing yourself in the way that art might be. There is, of course, a lot of expression in there, but understanding what drives you and coming back to that thing that I said, what you love, good at and love doing, good at but don't like doing, and so on, like understanding that and checking in on that regularly, will help you understand what it is that, like, how you feel, and then bringing that to, don't not being afraid to talk to someone with more experience and telling them that. Because if you just say, give me some advice, that's very difficult. But if you say, hey, I've done this thing and I really feel like I'm good at these things, I'm not so good at these things, but I would like to do them, but these I really hate, they might be able to tell you what that means for you. If I hadn't had someone say to me, hey, you might be good at, in the UX team, I would never have even moved into the area of UX. That's because someone came and said, you're doing all of these things. That kind of seems like it would fit you really well. And so kind of going out there and asking for that advice, but with a little bit of structure, with the understanding what it is that you love and what you don't love and where your strengths are, and kind of constantly checking in on that, I think is not constantly, but like, every year or so, at least, thinking about that, what really brings you joy. I mean, what you asked me at the beginning, right? What is inspiring me at the moment? That's a continuous process, thinking
Yeah,
about where your
yeah.
inspiration is coming from and listening to that little voice inside your head, becoming more attuned to it, I think is really important. It's not super practical advice in that sense of do this thing, but I think it helps create your compass, and like having a compass and knowing how to read that compass, is a really useful thing to give you the agency to decide what direction you're going in, rather than just wait for someone to say, okay, yeah, you want to be a design director now, cool. That's the only step we have. You could say, but I don't want that. I actually want to be more of an expert. I want to dive deeper into this topic, and I don't want all of that leadership stuff because then I get to design less, and I love designing. Even if that position is not available, if you have already thought about that, maybe it could become available if you go along and say, hey, I want this. Or the other way around, if you want to go into leadership, someone might tell you how to do that. So I think really thinking about where those desires are in your brain is very
I see,
important.
I see. I understand. Yeah, makes sense. Huh? So basically, what you're telling me is that the path is more important than the destination, or there is no only one single destination. You will adjust your path basically based on your interests, the way that you're developing your interests basically while you're working. And does make sense actually to me. Yeah. And
It's all a mind. This is all
maybe
mindset, right? There's a lot of mindset related there that I think is
true, yeah.
Now and next.